All right, welcome everybody. I know I'm early, so I'm actually headed out of town. I'm going to Backstage. It's called Backstage, and it is an event for Stampin' Up! Leaders. And I'm leaving this afternoon to go to that. And so I wasn't going to be here tonight to do my normal live, so I'm coming on early. Some of you will see me, and some of you won't. Some of you will probably watch the replay. But anyway, welcome, welcome. My name is Julie Brown. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and we're going to make some cards today. But first, let me take care of some housekeeping. So for those of you that are placing orders with me this month that are under $150, please use the hostess code that you see listed there. You can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. I'd love to be your demonstrator if you don't already have a demonstrator. You can email me at juliescreativestamping@gmail.com. And then there's my Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram pages. And then my YouTube channel is a little different. You have to do Julie's Creative Stamping. And then I also have a website / blog that I am still building and working on. But there are a lot of good articles already on that. So make sure you check that out as well. So what are we going to be doing today? I am going to be introducing one of the suites that's coming out in the new mini catalog that will be available September 1st. To customers. Now, if you are part of my team, if you're already a demonstrator, you can order now because we can do pre-ordering. That's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. Now, just so you guys know, you do not have to do what I do. You don't have to do lives. You don't have to teach classes. You can just join as a demonstrator just for the discount, which is what a lot of you do. And it's a smart thing to do because if you love Stampin' Up! Products, then you definitely want to make sure you're getting a discount. So again, you can go to that juliebrown.stampinup.net if you decide you'd like to join and be part of my team to get that discount. And then you can start ordering what you see today. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till September 1st. Also, if you don't have a demonstrator and you'd like to see the new mini catalog, again, please email me and I'll put that up again at the end. And let me know that you would please like a mini catalog and I'll get one out to the mail to you. So let's get started. Okay, so we are going to be using the All About Autumn suite. Now, the difference between suites and bundles is the suite is everything that you need to put these cards together. And so you can find this on page 42 and 43 of the mini catalog. And so I'm going to just show you everything that's in the suite. But before I do that, the first thing in the suite is this bundle. This bundle is a polymer stamp set that has the distinctive stamp leaves with all of these beautiful dies. Now, what's cool about this particular die set is it has the dies that cut out the things that the images that you stamp. And then it has all of these standalone dies, and you're going to get to see me use all of these today. So, oh, I forgot to tell you, so part of the housekeeping is if you're new to watching me on Facebook Live, you can type in your comments. You can let me know you're here, say hello, and if you have any questions, type them in. I do upload this to YouTube later with free PDFs, which this will probably be next week that I get the PDFs and the YouTube video uploaded, just because I'm going to convention this week. So just bear with me while I get that uploaded. But that's one of the reasons you want to watch it on YouTube is because I do put the PDFs, which are the instructions for how to put these cards together. Okay, so so this is the first thing in the suite. That is that bundle. The next thing is they have some 6x6 designer series paper, which is absolutely beautiful. And it just has all these like lovely scenes. Don't you like that library one? That one's so cool. And then on the other side, it's like metallics. Can you guys see? It's all these fun metallic paper with some images and stuff, or just some designs stamped into it, which is super cool. And do you see how this white space is on here? I'm going to show you an embossing folder that's part of this suite, and it threw me off a little bit because the first time I embossed it left some of this white space in the embossing folder, and it wasn't until I started looking at this paper I realized it was supposed to do that. So anyway, just beautiful, beautiful paper, which makes super quick cards. Then it also has this specialty paper, which is copper metallic. So that's part of the suite. It has this really fun ribbon combo pack, which is these two right here. Isn't this copper ribbon just absolutely gorgeous? Beautiful. And it has this embossing folder that I was telling you about. And can you see how it's supposed to, see like this right here? That's that white space. And when I'm not used to our embossing folders doing that. And so the first time I did it, I was like, what's wrong with this? But that's exactly what it's supposed to do. So it did its job. And I think and then it has these adhesive back speckled dots. I don't know if you can see the speckles on them. All right, so I've got 3 cards to do, so I want to kind of get busy. So the first card that I'm doing is what we call simple stamping. Simple stamping is basically just using ink, stamps. You can blend with blending brushes, but it's ink, it's stamps, and it's cardstock. And so I'm just going to run through this one really quick for you and get this card put together and show you this wonderful stamps that are part of this. So I'm going to be using, let's see, copper clay, which is one of our new in colors. I'm going to be using, I think, Cajun Craze, copper clay, pumpkin pie, and crushed curry are the colors that I'm going to be using. Oh, I guess you guys can't. Let me move this down. Here we go. Let me put them like this so you can kind of see the colors. There we go. All right. So I'm going to start off with the biggest stamp, and I'm going to do that in Cajun Craze because I try to work from the biggest stamp down to the smallest stamp. That's just something that I got into the habit of doing when I'm trying to kind of do simple stamping where I'm kind of designing, you know, making the design myself. All right, so there's that. And then it has this really cool, like the vines for the leaves. And this I'm going to do in copper clay. And I'm going to clean all these stamps in just a hot second. But I just wanted to kind of get this on here. And what you do is you just line this up with the veins. And then stamp it like so. And I got it a little bit off because, again, I can't see, you know, it's really hard for me when I'm doing this on camera because I usually try to bend over. Go figure. So I try to bend over so I can be kind of centered and see a little bit easier. All right, so let's get those two cleaned off and out of the way. I'm just going to leave my chamois right there so I can clean easily. Then I'm going to come in with this other fun leaf, and we're going to do this one in pumpkin pie. So let's get that pumpkin pie open. That is one of our older stamp pads because my new one is in a bucket that is for a class, so I didn't want to take it out of the bucket, so I just grabbed one of my old ones. And I don't know if you guys are noticing, but if you'll notice, one of the cool things about these stamps when they're kind of like a distinctive stamp, see how it puts some of that natural shading in there, like on the inside of the leaf? And that's what it's supposed to do. Makes it look really cool. All right, let me close this up, and then I'm going to bring in these veins for this one. And again, I'm using the copper clay for the veining. Let's see if I can do a better job of lining this up. There we go. And we're just going to push that like that. So I don't think anybody's caught on that I'm online because I'm not seeing any comments yet. So I may just be by myself today, which I kind of was figuring would happen since I really didn't give anybody a heads up. I finished these cards last night and I thought, you know what, I should just go ahead and do a video before I leave town. And that way I'm not leaving you guys high and dry tonight with nothing to watch or look at. All right, so then we're going to come in with the crushed curry. with these small leaves. And again, I'm just going to kind of stick these up in this corner. And then I'm going to do another set in this corner down here. All right. Let's clean that up. And then we're going to bring in, these are the veining for those leaves. So we're going to get that copper clay. And we're going to try to get these lined up. There we go there. Do the same thing over here. Now you guys will notice anytime I'm doing what I call a two-step stamping, where you're stamping right over another image, I do tend to kind of line it up on one side, set it down, and then kind of roll into it. I find that is the easiest way to get good placement when you're doing, when you're stamping over something else, which we call two-step stamping. Okay, and then something else that I did that was kind of fun with this is this stamp set. I love the stamp sets that come with kind of like those little stamps that look kind of grainy or like sand. Well, this one didn't have one, but I wanted some of those dots. So I just decided to take my marker and just go in and just touch in some areas and put these little dots in. Just, you know, just for another fun element. I think sometimes we forget to grab our markers because we get so, I love the blends. You guys know I love blends. For those of you that are new, we have some, they're called Stampin' Blends, and they're alcohol-based markers. And they're used kind of for coloring in. And ever since those have come out, people have kind of a little bit, I feel, forgotten about our Stampin' Right markers, but I actually use these quite a bit. But I just thought this would be a little fun look on there. So let me bring that closer. And then for this card, I was kind of going for a grunge look. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that's kind of like when you're just kind of stamping on top of each other. So I thought I would come in with this I'm thankful sentiment, and I'm just going to start stamping this all over the front of this. Now, you could stop right here and have a beautiful card, right? But I'm going to make this more grungy looking. So what I do is I ink it up, and then I stamp off, and then I just start stamping. And you'll notice I stamp twice. So one's going to be a little darker than the other one. And there's no rhyme or reason for how I'm putting this on here. I'm just getting these words on here. And this is kind of what I call my grunge look, because it just kind of messes it up a little bit. But I thought it would be really fun, you know, just to show you guys how, you know, even when you're just doing stamping, you can get these really cool looking techniques going. So let me bring that closer so that you see the effect that that did, which I think is really cool. You guys may not like it, but I really like that kind of grunge look. And then while I have this stamp out, oh, I should have done both of those. So while I've got this out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment that we're going to be using. And then I'm also going to stamp a couple of those stamps on this that I used earlier. This is just going to be our sentiment label. Again, I always try to line it up straight to begin with. That gives me my best chance of getting it on there straight. And then I'm going to come in with that pumpkin pie image and stamp that off right like that. And then we're going to come in with the crushed curry one. And I'll flip this over in a second, because anytime that you're, oh, I just put that in the wrong ink. Let me clean that off. So it happens when I try to talk and stamp at the same time. I need to have that on the other side, because I keep reaching across you guys, which I don't like doing. All right. Sorry. I'm going to move that chamois so I'm not reaching across you. Okay, so let me close up the crushed curry and the pumpkin pie for now. We'll be stamping on the inside as well, which I guess I should do that now. So let me just, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over since I've made such a mess of this paper so that you guys can have a clearer palette to look at. So we're going to come in with that Cajun Craze and that big stamp. And this is for the inside. So that's going to go like so. And then I went ahead and set these up ahead of time. I lined them up. Let's see if I can get them on here straight. Haha. And that says, for all you do today and every day. And these are two of the sentiments. Hey, Glenna. Welcome, welcome. This is kind of an impromptu. I'm leaving today for a conference and made these cards last night, so I decided to get on and show everybody one of the new suites that's coming out. All right, so let's get those stamps out of the way. And then I'm going to flip this back over because I'm going to make a bigger mess. So now what I want to do is with that copper clay, because again, I'm trying to go for a grunge look here. I'm going to, oh, thanks, Glenna. I'm going to come in and I'm going to like blend in these edges. So I'm just tapping. I start off the page and then I come on. And again, this is just my simple stamped card, right? It's just using ink and cardstock. We're not using all those beautiful embellishments that I showed you earlier because I just want to show you how you can make these cards really pretty. I do want to bring in those veins on this one. Oh, I did Cajun Craze instead of copper clay. That'll work. I think that looks pretty too. I love it when I mess up and I just have to go with it, right? Okay, so let's bring in these veins for these flowers. So there's that one. Where's the other one? Here's the other one. And those I'm doing in copper clay. And it's just to give it a little extra oomph there. I'm going to clean those really quick. So I apologize. I usually like have a lot of this stuff prepped ahead of time. Not with the simple stamping because this one's a little harder to prep because you're doing the stamping. But the next two cards that I'm going to show you, I usually have prepped. But we're going from start to finish here. Okay, so then to finish this off, what we're going to do, and again, let me just flip that over. We're going to come in with our copper clay card base. And I'm using our Stampin' Seal Plus. And we're just going to attach this one. The way I like to do this is I get my bottom edges even, like left, right, and bottom. And then I just kind of lay it down. And that's what helps me to get it straight. Then we're going to come in with these two pieces. And I'm going to just put this piece on this piece. Again, this is just a really simple, quick card with just stamping. Because you know what? I don't want all of you guys to feel like you have to buy all of the gadgets, all of the dies, all of everything. I mean, it's nice to have, and I'm the biggest baby about that because I love what I call the easy buttons, which are the dies and the punches and all of that. But you know what? You have to have the budget to do that, and you work with your budget. And hopefully this is showing you guys. Sorry, I didn't quite get that straight. Hopefully this shows you guys that you can make beautiful cards with a minimal amount of product. And then this is just going to go across this bottom edge like so. And then we'll put the inside in, and card one is going to be completely done. Oh. So Glenna found me. Glenna is a friend of mine. She is helping me get organized in my life. She sells Tula 12, which if you guys are ever looking for organizers, those are the ones to, I need to get you hooked up with Glenna. Reach out to me and I'll get you hooked up with her because it's really helping me. Okay, so what do you think? Card 1. Do you guys like the grunge look? So there you go. It says, I'm thankful, and then for all you do today and every day. Boom, card 1 done. Okay, as I throw it to the side. All right, so next card is going to be what I call a casual card. So casual cards are cards that we start bringing in like pieces of that suite that I told you that this is a suite that comes with paper and everything else. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using some designer series paper and some ribbon and to make it just a little extra special. Oh, I needed a piece of crumb cake for this. Hold on. See, that's what happens when I try to do things fast. Okay, so for this one, we are going to be, this is what I call stamping color on color. And then we'll be die cutting these out. Actually, I thought I did. I knew I had cut some smaller pieces for this because I wanted to be able to bring in my smaller die cut machine. So let me just cut this down to 3 inches with my trimmer really quick. And we will get going on this card. This card actually goes together pretty quick besides the die cutting. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in that big stamp, the big leaf again, and we're just going to stamp it. And then I need 2 of the smaller leaves. And these I'm going to end up cutting apart. And then we're just going to, again, the reason that you want to do what you're seeing me do here is because if you're using a chamois for cleaning, it puts less ink in your chamois. It's just a better way to be able to use your chamois longer before you have to go rinse it out. Okay, so now we're going to come in with crumb cake. Oh, I needed to re-ink this. Hopefully this will work. I've been using a lot of crumb cake. Okay. Probably should have re-inked that. Can you guys see how it's a little lighter in the center? I don't know if you guys can see that, but that just means that obviously I tend to go right in the center. But it just means I need to re-ink. All right. Which if I had it sitting here, I would give you a class on re-inking. But since we're doing 3 cards today, I'll save that for another day. All right. Let me move that out of this way and now we're going to come in, remember those dies, tons and tons of dies, but we're going to be using the outlined dies because these are what go with our stamps. And so they match up perfectly with the stamps. And so I'm going to just set these on here. Now I use this Post-it labeling and cover-up tape for when I'm trying to secure my dies. You can use washi tape if you have washi tape. I have a ton of washi tape that I also use, but this is just kind of convenient because I can keep it sitting right here on my desk, especially when I'm doing videos for you guys. All right, so let's bring in that. We're going to use our mini die cut machine for this particular cut. And please excuse, you guys can tell how much I use these. Look how these come beautifully clear and you can see through them, but not at my house because I use the heck out of them. So that also goes to tell you that these little machines hold up really good because you guys don't understand. I mean, these get used in my card classes. These get used really hard. And they have held up to all of it. So love our Stampin' Cut, die cut and emboss. Whoops, I just threw that on the ground. All right, that's what happens when I'm trying to go fast. Oh yeah, well loved. Good comment, Glenna. Yes, they are well loved. That's a good thing. I need to start using it. My well loved plates. I do have some new ones sitting over there. I just haven't got them out, and I need to I should probably use that for you guys, so things look a little bit prettier on here. So just kind of as a heads up, for me, casual cards are a little bit quicker than simple stamping cards, because sometimes on the simple stamping cards, you guys saw how much I stamped. And then if you're using two-step stamps like I did today, it takes a little bit longer. Plus, if you're using stamps that you have to like color in with blends or markers, again, that can take a little bit longer. So I don't want you guys to get confused about the fact that just because I say simple stamping, that means that it's going to be the quickest stamping, because that is not always the case. All right, what I do with my little pieces. Okay, I guess I didn't get my other piece, so we're just going to use a piece of scrap here. And we're going to come in with our Moody Mauve this time. And the reason I decided to use Moody Mauve is because if you'll notice, isn't that a beautiful paper? But it has those Moody Mauve tints in the leaves. So that's why I decided to use this one. And I am going to use that I'm Thankful. Let me make sure I cleaned that off. I don't think I did. I'm glad I checked that. All right, so we're going to come in with this. Just ink this up. I don't have to be perfect at this stamping because I'm fixing to cut it out with a die. So another reason for dies is we don't, especially if we're doing labels that we're cutting out, we don't have to stamp straight. Yeah, that you should see. I don't know if you were here earlier. You might want to go back and look at it. All of this paper in this set is gorgeous. It is just absolutely beautiful. All right, so let's bring that die cut machine back in real quick. And you'll see me switching my plates back and forth, and that's what keeps them fairly like flat. A lot of people have a bad, they start curving. The plates start like curving. The way you stop that is you just switch back and forth which is your top plate and which is your bottom plate. And that will absolutely help you with keeping them pretty flat. And again, I know this works because I have tons of people come through my class that use these and don't always flip them. And so at the end of class, I'll notice that one starts to warp a little bit more. And so I just leave that one on the bottom a little bit longer, and then it fixes itself right out. So even if you have kind of not done that, you can start doing that. Put your warped one on the bottom and start using it on the bottom for a little bit. And then switch it. Okay, so now we're pretty much, besides the stamping for the inside of the card, then we'll be ready to put this card together. Like I told you, zippity zippity. Casual cards are quick because, again, you're using designer series paper, you're using ribbon. You're probably not doing as much stamping as you would like on a simple stamping card. And that's what makes these, I think casual cards are probably the most popular because they're really pretty, because of the designer series paper, and you get to add ribbon and you get to add some embellishments, and they're quick. All right, so there's that. Sorry if my head got in the screen. All right, so my stamping's done, my cutting's done, and now all that's left to do is put this card together. Move everything out of the way. Okay, so we're going to come in with a very vanilla card base. And I'm just using that bone folder to, we call that burnishing the edge, and all it does is make it so your card stays shut, basically. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of paper, the Designer Series paper, and it's called, what is it called? All Autumn. I think the Designer Series paper is, I think, the same name as the suite, which is All About Autumn, is what the Designer Series paper is called. And again, bear with me because, you know, we just got these catalogs too, so I don't know everything by heart yet. So we're just going to take that ribbon and we're just going to wrap that, and I'm just going to kind of center that. Then I'm going to go ahead, and you'll notice that I do run a little bit of adhesive over the ribbon just to make sure that it stays in place once I put this on the front of the card. These are just my little tips and tricks that I use to make sure that ribbon stays where it's supposed to. Oops, it's trying to stick to me. So again, I am lining up my bottom and my left and right edges. And once I feel like those are correct, then I just lay the paper down. And again, that's how I can usually almost always, I'm going to say 90% of the time, get it straight. All right, so now let's start building what we want for our design. So I kind of want this to go here, but I want to bring in some mini dimensionals. And you guys know me, my take your pick tool, which is kind of like becomes my right hand. So I'm just going to grab some of these, and I'm just going to put them under these two leaves because this is already lifted up. And so I try to keep everything level. And so you kind of need to pay attention to your ribbon, how thick your ribbon is. Some ribbons you can just go ahead and put the dimensionals, like you could have put some here, but this has a little bit of height to it. And so I wanted to try to keep it as level as possible. So I'm putting the dimensionals there, and then I'm coming in with my liquid glue on the bottom here. And we're just going to remove these little, these dimensionals are double-sided. And so we're just going to remove those and then just lay that down like so. Okay, so the liquid glue is what touched the ribbon, and then this did not. So then I'm going to come in with that other, the one that I did in crumb cake, and I'm just going to kind of do the opposite. It's just going to be kind of down here. So I'm going to put my dimensionals here. I haven't done cards from start to finish in a long time, so I'm kind of excited that you guys are getting to see this side. Let me do that again. It is this side. You guys are getting, you're getting to actually see from start to finish how long these cards actually do take. Because we can tell you all we want that it takes, it doesn't take long. But when you see it in person, how quick these go together, then, hopefully you don't feel intimidated and, feel like you can't do this. I was one of those people that said, I'm not crafty. I didn't believe I was crafty because I grew up, I was a stockbroker. I was everything, I say everything logical, right? So I used my left brain most of the time. So I didn't feel like I was very creative. And then a friend asked me to come to a card class with her, and I found out, oh my gosh, I actually can do this. Now, don't get me wrong. At first, I copied it exactly how they did it is exactly how I did it, because I was like, oh, I don't know if I can match colors. I don't know. I had all these insecurities about being able to match things up, and I'm proud to say that I am, even though I have used my left brain for most of my life, that I discovered a whole creative side to me that I never knew existed. So for those of you out there that think you're not creative, I'm going to say, look at me, because that's exactly how I felt. Oh, I was putting that kind of backwards. So we're going to put a crumb cake leaf here. So we're going to kind of do the opposite with the leaves. And we're just going to bring that one in right there. And then we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to take those Moody Mauve leaves and we're going to pair them up with the crumb cake, the larger leaf. And we're just going to, because we pop this up, it makes it really easy to stick things underneath it. So I always pay attention when I'm layering things, like how I want to layer it. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So now we're going to bring in, isn't this ribbon to die for? Oh, look at, oops, sorry, as I drop it. It's so shiny and pretty. So for those of you that like bling, this is definitely a card that you're going to love. All right, so so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of lay this down. And so this time you're getting to see a lot of our adhesive today, because this time I'm using glue dots to place this ribbon down. And you guys can see I use a variety of adhesives when I do cards. I'm not stuck on just one adhesive. I give them all fair amount of attention. All right, and then we're just going to come in right next to it, just a little bit below it. And let me just kind of, this is what I call dry runs, is I just kind of lay it to see kind of where I want it to fit. And then I just kind of lay those glue dots based on that. So let's see. So I've used my Stampin' Seal Plus. We've used liquid glue, and we have used dimensionals, and we've used glue dots. I think I've done it all, ladies. Oh, I haven't used tear and tape. Yes, I know you're a bling girl, Glenna. So. All right, so that's going to go like that. And then we're going to come in with that. I don't know if you guys could see, it does a stitched, that die cuts did a did little stitching around it. And I am a sucker for die cuts that have that stitched edge. I love, love, love them. I mean, it's bad. It's like I would be I am a hoarder of stitched dies. I'll admit it, I'm a hoarder. If there's some stitching on dies, I just have to have it. Okay, so that's just going to lay like so. And then we're going to come in. Actually, let's put the inside in, and then I'll finish the front. Hopefully I cut this down right. Yeah, sometimes I forget to cut my inside down. I'm so used to using 4 by 5 1/4 that I sometimes forget to cut that inside down to 3 3/4 by 5. And again, like I said, when I upload this to YouTube, there will be free PDFs for how to put this together. So if this is something that you have looked at, you've got your new mini catalog and you've looked at it and you're falling in love with this set, put it on your wish list. Yeah, I forgot I was going to say I do that a lot. I lose my train of thought. But yeah, get it on your wish list because it goes live September 1st. Now, if you're already a demonstrator, you can do your pre-order and get that in now. And you don't have to wait. And you can start playing like I am. That's one of the fun things about demonstrators. All right, so there's that, and then we are going to finish this up with those speckled adhesive back dots. Sorry. Every time, you know, it's so funny because I get going with doing this, and I end up, because I use all the different adhesives, I end up getting adhesive all over my hands. It's mainly the liquid glue that does that to me, but it is what it is. All right. Okay, guys, card 2 is done. What do you think? Let me bring it closer. So it says, I'm thankful. It has all those beautiful leaves. It's got the designer series paper. And on the inside, autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. Card 2. So this is what we call casual, because like you saw me do, I went from simple stamping. So let me bring that one back in. Simple stamping to casual, where we still stamp and but now we're die cutting. Now we're adding paper and ribbon. This could almost be called an Avid card because I did a little bit more. But yeah, that ribbon does make it, doesn't it? It really like just adds that final touch. I agree, Glenna. Okay, are we ready for card 3, ladies? And this is the big one. I've got to do some die cutting. But this is what we call our Avid card, because there's tons of layering, tons of die cutting. And again, I usually do this ahead of time so that you guys don't have to sit and watch me. But, you know, we'll just have a little conversation today because you guys get to watch. So I'm going to bring in that really pretty specialty paper that has that copper foil in it. And we are going to be cutting out, I think I can still cut it out from this. We're going to cut out a few of these little branches and what I call standalone dies, so that we can get some texture and some really fun dimension on this card that we're fixing to do. So I'm bringing in a lot of these, I call them standalone dies. So see how it's just going to cut that out. It doesn't necessarily like go over something that you have stamped. Actually, I think I'll put that one first, this one next, and then I'm going to need, I think, 2 of these. So I'll get that much on this one, and then I'll get the rest on the other page. So that's just going to go through our little die cut machine. I'm surprised no one else has found me. That's because you guys are not, no one's used to me being on until 6 o'clock tonight. So this is definitely I snuck in on everybody. So we're just going to pull those off. And there's some that I need more of. But look how pretty these are when they come out. Let me show them to you. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. What a fun look. All right. So I've got those. And now for this next, and you guys, you know what? Here's the deal. You could use this and you could put something behind it and still make this really pretty. Oh, you found me, Shanine. I snuck in today because I'm going out of town. So you're on my Avid card, and I am going from start to finish. I know you guys aren't used to me doing this because I didn't pre-die cut anything out. So you guys are going to get to see the whole thing. I've already done 2 cards, Shanine, so you'll have to go back and watch the replay. But I'll bring them back in a little bit. This is the All About Autumn Suite and the Autumn Leaves bundle. And the bundle is the stamp set and the dies. But all of this paper and ribbon that you guys are seeing is part of the suite. And the reason that Stampin' Up! Made suites is because they've always had suites. But anytime that we saw like an entire collection, they used to call them collections. Anytime that we saw an entire collection that we liked, we had to put in every single number. Like we had to put the number in for the paper, the number in for the ribbon, the number in for the embellishments. And so Stampin' Up! Came up with this brilliant idea that says, here's the suite, and here's one number that you can put in and get everything. I love it because it makes my life super simple. And say, okay, so on this one, we're going to stamp with Pretty Peacock. Let me find that. I know it's over here somewhere. Of course, it's on the bottom. Why would I think anything different than that? Oh, I hope this is the right size. Hold on. Oh, well, that was good. I got ink all over that. I just want to make sure this is going to cut. I don't know if I barely got that the right size. So I'm going to ink this up. And again, you'll notice me using my graph paper to get it straight on the paper. And that's what helps you get a straight stamped image, is when you start with a paper that is straight. I promise you it works. I think that's, I don't know. For me, that was one of the biggest challenges, was learning how to get my sentiments to stamp straight. What else am I cutting out? I think that's it. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside piece. Oh, I forgot. I knew there was something else I needed to stamp. So this is going to be the copper clay ink with that big leaf again. So Shanine, how are you today? I'm so glad you found me. I was being super sneaky today. So we're going to do the same thing that we did on that last card with these two images, and then we'll be cutting these out. I'm trying to go fast, ladies. Only because you guys know me, I don't like to be on for longer than an hour, but I kind of knew that this one was going to go over an hour. So, okay. It's telling me I'm having a problem with storage, and it may go out on me. Hopefully it doesn't. I've been having problems with my iPad lately, that there's not enough storage, even though I go in and get rid of a bunch of stuff before I start. So let's hope that it's going to hang with me until I get this card done for you guys. I'm going to be sad if it doesn't. So I'm going to try to move a little bit faster, just so it works. All right. So let me cut that out really quick. Oh, Shanine, thank you. That's so sweet. Again, I hope that we last, because what may happen is it may quit and say, you don't have enough storage to be doing this, and then I'll have to upload it later, and you guys will have to see the rest of it later, which always bums me out when that happens. I think I need to just get me a iPad that has nothing. I have all my stuff linked, and I need to unlink my iPad, so the only thing I use it for is when I'm doing these videos. I'm learning how things work, right? It's like so crazy. It's not just learning how to do the videos, it's learning all the technical side of things. And you know, technology is not my forte. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the front of this card so that we don't run out of storage, because I want you guys to see that. I've got one more thing. I'm going to bring that embossing folder in, but I have to bring in my big die cut machine for that, because this little one, the embossing, this size embossing folder does not fit on it. So let me get that done, and then I'm going to start building the front of the card. And that way, hopefully, it'll last. And you guys will get to see at least the front of the card. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring in this new embossing folder. And I forget what it's called. I told you, oh, it's called Distressed Tile 3D Embossing Folder. Well, if I can get it to open, I'm going to use it. Oh, my heck. What the heck? Oh. Okay, so I'm just going to set this in here. And remember, I told you, because this is distressed, it's kind of like my first card, kind of grungy, but this is distressed. So there's going to be parts of this that when you run it through the folder, it looks like it didn't emboss, but it's supposed to look like that. It threw me off, I must admit. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me just get this out of the way. And then we're kind of ready to start building our card. So let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. So see, when I bring this closer, how it looks like it missed embossing, like right there and right there. It's supposed to do that because it's a distressed look. All right. So I've already stamped an inside. So if we do lose time, I'll show you the inside of the first card that I did. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm bringing in Designer Series paper, and we're just going to lay that down on this right side. And again, like I said, when I upload this to the YouTube, it will have the PDFs so that you can make this. And, oh, that's what I was going to say. So if you decide that this is a suite that you like, because I'm doing this now, you're going to have a PDF. You're going to have 3 PDFs if you go to my YouTube channel that you'll be able to download. And like I said, that probably won't happen until next week, because I'm leaving, as soon as I'm done with this, I am leaving for Vegas for backstage, for Stampin' Up. And so it probably won't be on until Monday. I am taking my computer with me, so there is a chance that if I happen to be bored, which I doubt, but it might happen, I'll be able to get those on there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in, now, it probably would have been really smart if I would have put, we have adhesive strips that I normally use on the back of these really delicate things. And that would have been like super smart for me to do. But I wasn't thinking this morning. Oh, okay, I will. Rose Coleman. So did she tell you she's going to be there, Shanine? I will actually look her up. Okay, so I take my liquid glue and I put it in these little containers just so they can be a little more detailed. And so I am just getting these on here. And I use my silicone mat because I can wipe off this glue later. And so we're just going to take this one and we're just going to lay it like that. And see how that works just fine. But I do like those silicone mats, or the silicone, the adhesive strips that you can put on the back of your paper before you cut it. And then it just kind of makes them into stickers, and it makes your life way less complicated. So definitely something to look for in the catalog is those adhesive sheets. Okay, and so basically I'm just kind of piling this on to just give it some dimension. Then we're going to take this last one. Oh, no, she's fun to follow. Oh, okay. Did she say she was going to backstage? Yeah, there's like there's going to be like, you know, probably, I'm not even sure. But I have a bunch of people that I'm trying to catch up with, that I do some trainings with, also from Canada. Bonnie is from Canada, and I'm going to be catching up with her. So it's going to be nice to actually like see her in person and meet her in person. So I'm excited about that. It's just exciting to go to these. Okay. So then let me do this really quick. Sorry, I'm trying to go fast. I'm just scared to death this thing is going to say, you're out of storage and we're stopping everything. Okay, so what I wanted to do with these, because I wanted to show you another use for these limbs. So I'm just going to like trim this here, and let me figure out which one goes with which one. Make sure I've got the right one with the right one. Is that right? No, I think that might be this one. Should have paid attention when I was pulling. Okay, yeah, there we go. So again, same thing, right? I'm just going to take my silicone mat. I'm going to ink that up on the back, and then we're going to put these like veins in these leaves. I didn't do it on the big one because I was trying to go for a little bit different look on some of these, but I just thought it would be fun to like cut these out and then stick them on these leaves, and it just gives it a really cool look. Let me bring it closer so you can see. Isn't that neat? So, and you don't even have to do it with this paper. You could do cardstock and cut out different colored veining. I call these the veins of the leaves. You could do different colored veining, and that would look really cool too. All right, so let's stick that down. I keep hearing something upstairs, and I don't know if it's my dogs hitting the dog gates because it's kind of sounding like a bell. So I'm not sure if there's someone outside, but no one's supposed to be here. So too bad. So sad for them, right? Because I'm doing this with you guys. Okay, so then I'm going to bend these leaves just a little bit, just with my hand so that it kind of sits like that. And then I'm just going to put one little strip, and I'm going to kind of use these side pieces of dimensionals, kind of like right in the middle. And then pull that up because that's the only part that I actually want it to connect. And then that's going to sit, oh, I need to move it over just a bit. Oh, it'll be fine. I got it a little close to that edge, so we'll just fold that up a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm just going to start adding these underneath, kind of like I did with that other card. That's one of the cool things about when you use dimensionals. It makes it easy to slip these leaves underneath. And so this one is going to go here. And this one is going to come down at the bottom. Now, if you happen to try to shove these underneath and you run into your dimensional, I have been known to like cut the side that you can't see just so that it will fit. Then I'm going to bring in one of these leaves that I cut out. And this one's going to go like right here. And then I'm going to take this other, like, it's like a baby of this leaf, but I did it in that specialty paper. And so that's going to go smack dab in the middle. All right, and then I am going to, I think I need to cut this down. Oh gosh, what size was that? Sorry, I've got to measure something. So it's 2 by 1 5/8, I think. Okay. Sorry, I got to cut this. I thought I had all my paper trimmed ahead of time, which I should have had done. Okay, so what did I say? 2. Let me see how, what's it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm measuring again. So it is 2 by 1 5/8. Okay. So we'll do the 2 this way, and then we'll do the 1 5/8 this way. So I can attach these to each other. I really am usually more put together than this. So if you're watching me for the first time, I apologize for all the craziness. But like I said, this is an impromptu. This is what happens when I do an impromptu video. It becomes a little cray-cray. All right. That's one of the reasons I like using liquid glue. I don't know if you saw, I was able to adjust that because it wasn't as straight as I wanted it to be. And let's bring in some dimensionals, if I have any that aren't all used up. Oh. All right, we'll use some edges because I use every darn little piece of my dimensionals. So we're just going to use some edges. Where was the other piece I snipped? And then I'm going to put a bigger, let's put this other little one. See, I'm using every little last bit of my dimensional page, which makes me so happy. Oh man, I have one more piece that I got to set to the side and use later. All right, so let's bring my take your pick tool back in, and we are going to get the tops of this off. Sorry, that stuck to my hand. All right, and then what I do with the card? Oh, it's like, I threw the card off to the side. So then what I'm going to do is we're going to overlap this. I'm going to try to make it straight at the top, and I'm trying to leave the same distance over here that I have over here. You don't have to do that. You can make it look however you want. And then I'm going to come in with this little piece, and we're going to stick this. That was bad. I just got glue everywhere that I will have to clean up later. That's going to go underneath there. So you saw that I got glue over here. I'm going to let that dry. Once it dries, if you guys have one of these glue erasers, you can come in and you can get that glue off of there. So I don't ever panic when that happens. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in that really pretty ribbon and my bow maker, and we're going to make us a little bow. So these are my bow makers that I use because I'm horrible at tying bows, so I need help. All right, so I just put it across the top. I'm using these, I want a small bow, so I'm using these as my legs. I go around both legs, and then I kind of pull it across to see how much ribbon I need. And then once I do that, I go up through the center hole, wrap it around the bottom, bring my left side in, and tie the knot to make the bow. So super simple. I know some of you guys have this and you're still struggling with how to make it work, so I try to show that as often as I can for those of you that are still working with it and trying to make it work right. But once you get it down, it's like super easy. All right, so we're gonna just pick up some glue dots right off of this, and I usually do a couple of glue dots because it also helps me to position where I want like these legs and stuff to go, maybe. All right, so we're gonna put the bow right there, and then I'm gonna trim it to right to that edge, trim this to this edge, and then I'm just gonna add some real quick embellishments. And you guys can kind of see why this is considered an Avid card, because lots and lots of layers on this card. And so we're going to bring in, and we're going to use the copper clay dots. And I try to put, someone told me a long time ago that our eyes like odd numbers. And so you will see me use a lot of odd numbers when I'm like adding embellishments and stuff. Okay, I think we got it. Whew! That was a marathon card. So I'm going to use the other card and show you the inside. The inside was just stamped, but so tell me what you guys think. So see all the uses for this beautiful, beautiful suite. So there's the Avid card, and it's Avid because I used everything. I used the dots, I used the ribbon, I used the specialty paper, I used the embossing folder, I used the regular paper, die cuts, everything. And I call it the card with all the bells and whistles. Right? All right, and then let me show you the inside. So for the inside, I just put a piece of pretty peacock. I had cut an extra one of those little flowers, and that's the inside of that one. All right, so let's bring the cards back in really quick, and then we're done, ladies. So this is the 3 cards, simple stamping, casual to Avid. Okay, this is the All About Me suite that you'll be able to find it on page 42 of the new mini catalog. This stuff does not go live until September 1st. Okay, but I'm just trying to get you guys, help you guys with your wish list. I know sometimes you wish I wouldn't do that because your list grows, but my job is to show you the potential of what can be made with these beautiful suites and bundles and paper and all that good stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to bring that paper in one more time because, I mean, guys, this paper, right? It is unbelievably beautiful that is in this suite. Look at all these beautiful scenes that you can make casual cards with. I even like the leather seat, and then I like this is kind of like a knit look. Yeah, just super, super cool paper. Alrighty, let's get that out of the way. Okay, I think we made it. I think it's gonna take it and it's gonna get the recording done, so I'll be able to upload it to YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoyed those cards. I know it was like super fast and super on the spot, and yeah. Anyway, hope you guys like the cards, and I'm on my way to Vegas, and I will be talking to you guys next Wednesday night. So everybody have a good weekend, have a good week, and hopefully I'll have safe travels. But I am going to Vegas, man. It's hot. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day. And thanks for being here with me. I so appreciate you guys. Glenna, Shanine, thank you so much. And anyone else that was here that just didn't want to comment. I appreciate you guys being here. Your time is precious to me because I know it's precious to you. I'm going to put my information up really quick one more time so that if you need to reach out to me, if you have any questions, you can do so. Again, I will not be uploading this to YouTube until at least until I get to Vegas. If not, then it'll be next week. So everybody have a good rest of your day. And I'm out. Bye.